In the heart of Ireland, in County Offaly, there's a fortress with a reputation so heavy it feels like part of the stone itself. Leap Castle. Some places are called haunted because of one story. Leap Castle is called haunted because its history reads like a wound that never fully closed. And before we even touch the ghosts, there's a human truth you can't ignore. This castle was built in an age where power was personal, and violence was often the language of politics. Families fought for control, alliances shifted, betrayal wasn't rare, it was normal. One of the most repeated historical stories centres on a room now known as the Bloody Chapel. According to long-told accounts, an internal feud within the O'Carroll family ended with a priest being killed during or near a religious service. A moment so shocking it became part of the castle's identity. Whether every detail survives perfectly or not, the theme is clear. Even in sacred spaces, this place saw blood. Then there's what people call the castle's darkest physical discovery, the oubliette, a hidden pit described as being found during work on the castle around the early 20th century, with reports of a large quantity of human remains removed from it, often described as cartloads. Now, the exact numbers vary depending on the source, and sensational retellings sometimes inflate the details, but the core claim is consistent. A concealed place of death, discovered long after the people who built it were gone. And that's where the haunting reputation gains traction. Because when people walk into a castle that already holds tragedy in its structure, the mind doesn't need much help to feel watched. Even skeptics will tell you, history changes how a place feels. But Leap Castle's most famous entity isn't a monk, or a lady in white, or a phantom soldier. It's something stranger. Something that doesn't even behave like a classic ghost story. People call it the Elemental. The Elemental is more strongly tied to the writings of Mildred Darby, a resident of the castle in the late 19th, early 20th century, who was interested in the occult and published a dramatic account in the Occult Review in 1908. In that account, she describes encountering a thing, not quite human, with a presence that felt oppressive, hostile, and difficult to define. And that undefinable quality is exactly why the Elemental became the signature legend of Leap Castle. Because it isn't a tidy story, it's a presence, a feeling, a silhouette that people claim doesn't belong. Around the Elemental legend are other recurring reports, the kind you'll hear from visitors again and again. Heavy footsteps in empty corridors, sudden cold patches, doors that seem to move with intention, and figures seen briefly, then gone. Some tales speak of a woman in a red dress, others of children, others of an oppressive atmosphere that hits certain rooms like a weather change. And through it all, the castle continues to be restored and lived with. Since the early 1990s, it has been privately owned and restored by Sean Ryan and his family. People who don't treat the place like a prop, but like a responsibility. That matters, because the real human story here isn't just, is it haunted? It's what it means to inherit a place that carries centuries of story, tragedy, pride, folklore, tourism, skepticism, belief, all layered together. Some visitors arrive wanting proof, some arrive wanting an experience, and some arrive simply wanting to stand in history and feel what they feel. So what is Leap Castle? A brutal old fortress with a violent past, where imagination does the rest. A place where folklore grew around real history until it became inseparable, or somewhere that still holds something we don't have a clean explanation for. Whatever the truth is, Leap Castle is endured because it doesn't give easy answers. It gives you accounts, it gives you atmosphere, it gives you a question that follows you out the door. If you walk those halls at night, would you call it history? Or something watching from inside it?